Hello everyone, and welcome back to RuneScape, where today we're doing another court summons. Yeah, I know, not the most exciting thing in the game, but I got one yesterday, and I want to get rid of it. So we're doing it. It's the Gravedigger one specifically, so you'll see Leo over here with his giant shovel that he carries around in a very strange manner. That would be hard on your wrists, I think, to hold a shovel like that for an extended time period, but you know, he does it, so it's gotta work. Anyway, let's talk to the clerk. Court summons. Would you like to defend or prosecute? We will defend. Ah, a viewing orb. This case has a crime scene that needs investigating. I see from your record that this is your first case with a viewing orb. I'll take you through the procedure. Okay. The viewing orb has a recording of the crime scene on it, which you can step into and explore. Once you are in the recording of the crime scene, the orb will provide you with a magnifying glass. Use this on items in the scene to investigate them thoroughly, and whatever you find can be used in court to support your case. You won't be able to take anything from the crime scene since it doesn't really exist. You can return at any time during the case to investigate further. Alright, I guess we gotta open up the filing cabinet. He didn't actually tell us that part, but there we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the typical thing where you read the reports, because otherwise you might not be able to do something, and then we gotta... I wonder if the mud found on Leo is the same as the crime scene. I don't know, let's go talk to Leo, I guess. I didn't do it, and I'm not taking the stand. I haven't got anything more to say about it. Okay, good enough. Alright, so here we are at the old random event location of the grave digging thing. So we have the magnifying glass, which we can use. Let me figure out what we're supposed to do. So we have to read the things, we have to use the viewing orb, we have to use it on the mausoleum. The lock has rusted tight. I don't think anyone has been inside for a long time. Wait, there's a fingerprint. Alright, so we gotta match these. Could it be Leo's? Could it be someone else's? Or could it be someone else's? Well, it's probably Leo's, you know, because why would either of those guys be in the wrong random event? You have discovered a matching fingerprint. Hooray! Alright, so what else do we gotta do in here? The coffin beneath the gravestone. Just like any coffin? Okay. The mud around this grave has been recently disturbed, but nothing seems to be missing from the coffin. It's full of things I'd expect in a coffin, you know, like farming tools and things. Yeah, that makes total sense. It's not really grave robbing if nothing has been stolen. Okay. Oh, we're supposed to use it on a gravestone. Where did I read? Oh, I see. They wanted you to choose any gravestone and then do the coffin below it. A strange marking. There's a fingerprint on the gravestone! Alright, is it Leo's? Absolutely not. Is it Freaky Forester's? Nope. And no, it is none of these. Is there a way to do it? No. Okay, so you have to just confirm one of them that's wrong, apparently. Seems a little weird. That makes no sense. This fingerprint doesn't match any of the suspects' fingerprints. I mean, that doesn't make that much nonsense. Like, there could be random people around. Like, it's not that weird. I'll double check this one just in case we were supposed to do this in order. But I don't think it matters. Nope, it's the same old dialogue, and then we can leave the crime scene. Okay. Into viewing. I think we have all the evidence we need, actually. Alright, let's go ahead. Do we just go downstairs? I don't remember. Yes, we're ready. Let's do this thing. Get this thing shrunk down. The old trial situation, where we watch the same animations over and over. This court is now in session. This trial is to determine the guilt or innocence of Leo for grave robbing. Is the prosecution ready? The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Is the defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, the prosecution may present its case. Members of the jury, I am going to present evidence that decisively proves this alleged grave robber stole from graves, caused havoc and distress to the families of the dead. First, through careful, not caramel, that'd be a little weird, careful examination, we have discovered that the mud found in Leo's boots matches the mud found at the disturbed graves. Second, I present the mixed-up graves. Anonymous reports were confirmed when we examined the coffins and found that they differed from the gravestones. Since adventurers were asked to match the coffins to the gravestones, someone else must have mixed them up in the first place, who would have access to the graves other than Leo himself. Last, but certainly not least, the fingerprint found on the mausoleum is clearly the suspect's. Members of the jury, this man is guilty. He didn't actually mention, like, anything being robbed. So that's a little weird. I think that will be enough. It's time for you to summarize your case to the jury. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the evidence conclusively proves that the defendant is disturbed and confused the graves of those resting peacefully. All we ask is that a grave is dug and the coffin is placed inside it. Only someone with malicious intentions could get such a simple task so wrong. That makes no sense whatsoever. Can I do my thing now? Like, you shouldn't have, like, asked me to do something? Okay, well, whatever. Defense. Okay, we need to present evidence. Your Honor, I'd like to present evidence. The prosecution has once again pointed out the obvious. Of course my client's fingerprints were on the mausoleum. He works there. What the prosecution has neglected to mention is that another fingerprint was found at the scene, and the court was unable to identify it. I actually read a trivia thing that said that theoretically it could be the player's fingerprint from when it was a random event, which would be interesting. Anyway, the court was unable to identify it. Ladies and gentlemen, a stranger was present at the graveyard, and they touched at least one of the graves. Yes, it does seem very likely that more than one person was at the graveyard. Alright, what else we got? Muddy boots. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could draw your attention to prosecution evidence number 2, muddy boots. There is mud on his boots, so what? There is mud on the defendant's boots, and why shouldn't there be? You can bet that the mud matches mud from all over the world. Mud on my client's shoes does not prove his guilt. Also, it really doesn't count as evidence of really anything, so, you know. Whatever. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if I could draw your attention to prosecution evidence number 3, a coffin. Coffin is not empty. The coffin is far from empty. I hate when the dialogue doesn't match the dialogue option. It messes me up reading it. So it can't have been robbed. You cannot convict my client of a crime when that crime clearly never happened. Still, I can offer an alternative theory. My client, getting mixed up with age, buried the wrong coffins in the wrong graves. Forgetfulness is far from a crime. Yeah, it's far from robbing. I have presented all my physical evidence, Your Honor. There were no witnesses in this case, so I'd like to summarize my case now. We're going to appeal to the old guy because he's almost dead, so he should be concerned with, I don't know, incompetent grave burial. I think it's more like he's forgetful. Old. I think that's the theory here. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have presented evidence that conclusively proves the defendant is innocent with regard to these crimes. My client is getting old and forgetful, and the prosecution has neglected to explain the strange fingerprint on the disturbed grave. Also failed to actually describe any crime taking place. We don't need to prosecute him for a simple mistake he was attempting to correct before being rudely interrupted. I believe we've heard enough. Would the jury please pronounce their verdict? Not guilty. Very well, you are hereby declared not guilty by a jury of your peers. You are free to go. Hooray! Balloons for everyone. Very pale balloons thanks to the lighting. We can't even fix from inside here. Alright. Yeah, this is a weird one because a lot of them, they are kind of like, well, depending on whether you defend or prosecute, it'll kind of seem to like bend to the trial to kind of match what you're saying. But in this one, like, clearly he's innocent. Like, there's no doubt. Like, if I look at the guide, like, They just say the coffin was in the wrong grave is like the evidence. Like, whatever. That's not even what he's being charged with. This is a weird one. Well, hello, I'm glad you stopped by. I have a reward for you from the last case you completed. You'll need to collect it before you can do any more cases. Great. Thank you for the generic dialogue, and for some XP and mystery boxes. Ooh, 100 U-logs, that's a pretty significant reward. Not bad. Now, what do I toss this in now that I have 99 summoning? Could be prayer. Could really be any of these skills, but I suppose prayer would be the logical choice. There we go, a little bit of progress towards a prayer level. Big deal. Got all that, yeah, hopefully it's a little while before the next court case. They are quite boring content, aren't they? But it is good to get them out of the way. They are a trimmed completionist cape requirement as well as a master quest cape requirement. Also, just an achievement for rune score, so you know, there's technically that high score for rune score. Do they even have that in the game? Where do they hide that menu? Right, I got rid of it, didn't I? So I have to go community, high scores, activity. They don't even have it in game. That's really weird. I'd have to view the page. But we can see my high scores here. You can see that I'm pretty high ranked in this one here. And decently ranked in medium, and then terribly ranked in the other two. Right? Yeah. Well, that's not a very high rank. It actually is. It would be better if these had commas, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be better if they had commas. Whatever, and then of course there's this situation here, which is pretty awesome, and I need to get to work on that, but I've been working on so many things at once, it's really hard to focus on just one. Well. Yeah, why don't they have the other high scores in here? Oh well. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time with the next episode. It'll probably be a proper quest, because it has been a while since we've done a full proper quest, and I should have plenty of time to do one on Friday, so look forward to that. I have no idea which quest it will be. There's a lot of possible choices, and I'll just have to decide which one makes sense. But I'll see you then. Bye!